Good evening, folks. Welcome to a very full house of a lot of things to celebrate this evening. Welcome to the Livonia Public Schools Board of Education regular meeting of May 26th, 2026. Mrs. Acosta, would you please take the roll?
Mrs. Bradford?
Here.
Mrs. Frank?
Here.
Mrs. Jarvis?
Here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. McFarland?
Here.
Mrs. Acosta is here. President Burton?
Here, and we have a quorum. Mr. McFarland, would you help us with the Pledge of Allegiance tonight?
Just face me.
No.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome again to the Livonia Public Schools Board of Education meeting. These are some of our most fun meetings. We have study sessions, we have committee of the whole where we discuss things at length, and we have our general or voting meeting, or general meeting as it's called. Folks call it different things. What it means for us tonight is that we get to celebrate you at the beginning of our meeting. We have some incredible accomplishments that we're going to be celebrating. We have a wonderful appointment that we're going to be celebrating, so we're going to go ahead and dig right in. Tonight's meeting, as I mentioned, is considered a regular meeting, or some call it a voting meeting. By that, if you folks who are in our audience this evening are sticking around long enough, and you don't have to, but if you are sticking around long enough to get to some of the items that we're going to be voting on this evening, you may or may not hear the length of discussion that you would expect when we're voting on sometimes some high dollar items. Please understand that that's because we have discussed these items at several meetings prior to this meeting. Once we discuss it at a study session and at least one committee of the whole, if we have all of our questions and answers taken care of and there's really nothing else that we can think of to discuss about the item, we're ready to vote on it, then it moves to tonight where we take a formal vote on an item. So for that reason, you may not hear the level of discussion that you would expect. If you're looking for that kind of discussion, question and answers and so forth on a given topic, I do encourage you to either attend our committee of the whole meetings. Those are always open to the public. Or you can always go back and watch them either in real time or go back and watch them on our website, which is livoniapublicschools.org. If you hover over the board tab, you can drop down to board meetings and you'll find agendas and links for our previous meetings. You can listen to them for a long time. If you're with us this evening and you would like a copy of our agenda, it can be found just outside the door to my left on a table. If you are looking for an agenda from home, you're following along from home, it can be on our website. As I mentioned, it's livoniapublicschools.org. You hovered over the board tab, you can drop down and find our agendas and follow right along. One of the things that we teach our children in all levels of our education are character traits. And the most important that we believe is that of respect. You have our word as a Board of Education that we will treat one another and everyone who's coming before the board this evening with respect, and we ask that all who are present do the same. We found that that is the best way to behave as adults and to teach our kiddos at the same time. We are going to be having a break shortly into our meeting after item 6A, which is the appointment of Director of Human Resources. That'll be after some of our more celebratory activities. And the purpose of that break is so that we can all congratulate our honorees of the evening. After that break, we're going to proceed with a whole lot of our more regular items of business for the evening. The first item that's coming up on our agenda is communications. And item 3A is the recognition of National Merit Scholarship finalists. And we'll be hearing from Mrs. Jenkins.
Good evening. Thank you. Good evening, President Burton, members of the board, and Superintendent Oquist. Tonight it is my pleasure to recognize a special group of students who have excelled in the National Merit Scholarship Program. National Merit is an academic competition for recognition and scholarships that has been in existence since 1955. High school juniors take the PSAT, National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Exam, which serves as an initial screening for program entrance. In the fall, more than 16,000 semifinalists were designated, which is less than 1% of all high school seniors in the country. From there, the semifinalists completed a detailed scholarship application, which included an essay and information such as their extracurricular activities and awards, To be considered for the finalist designation, students must have an outstanding academic record, demonstrate leadership, have a qualifying SAT or ACT score, and be recommended by a high school official. Each of our 7 honorees this evening, we have a larger group this year, are indeed National Merit Scholarship finalists. So I always enjoy this presentation each May because it not only highlights the students' accomplishments in the National Merit Program, but this is also a chance for us to be totally wowed by some truly amazing students in our district. As I call your name, and I think we're located over this way. Do we have any Merit Scholars on this side? No. Okay, right here? Okay. As I call your name, just if you could join me at the podium, we will go alphabetically. And I'm just going to read a little bit about each student to let everyone know a little bit about yourselves and your accomplishments. So first, we welcome Grant Atherton. Grant is a senior at Churchill High School, graduating with a 4.6 grade point average. Grant is a student in the district's Math, Computers, and Science program, and he's also on the Livonia Warriors robotics team. Grant plans to attend Michigan Technological University and aspires to a career in computer hardware. Grant said that the best part of being a student in LPS is the opportunity to learn and to improve. Congratulations, Grant, and thank you so much to all of our parents and all of our honorees tonight for taking the time out of this busy, busy month of May. We're clicking down the days until the last day of the school year, so we really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us tonight. So, Grant, we've prepared a special certificate for you for all of the honorees. It reads Livonia Public Schools Certificate of Recognition, Outstanding Achievement, National Merit Scholarship Program Finalist. Grant Atherton, selected by the National Merit Scholarship Corporation for outstanding academic success on the preliminary SAT National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test. The certificate is dated today's date, May 26, 2026, and signed by Superintendent Andrea Oquist and Board of Education President Colleen Burton. So that's something for your keepsake or for your grad party table. Congratulations again.
If I can jump in for a moment too, if
Sure.
there are family members who would like to take a photograph and you're not at a great angle, please do feel free to move around the room as need be.
Absolutely. Next, we welcome Mac Bafis? Bafis. It was 50-50. Mac is a senior at Churchill High School and also a student in the Math, Science, and Computers program. Mac carries a 3.8 grade point average and plans to attend Grand Valley State University with an aspiration to become a video game designer and/or software engineer. Mac serves as president of Churchill's esports team, and you have some pretty cool new digs in the LMC. That is such an impressive space for that team. And Mac is also a member of the National Art Honor Society. Max says this about being a student in LPS. Livonia Public Schools have changed me as a person, and I'm grateful for the community that I got to be part of. Congratulations, Mac, and thank you and welcome to you and your family for being here. Thank you so much. There you go. You're welcome. Congrats. Our next honoree is Claire Beckner, but she was unable to join us this evening. But I'm going to brag about her anyway, and I told her
Please do.
that she could view the meeting later on YouTube. So Claire Beckner is a junior at Franklin High School and carries a 4.5 GPA. She is involved in Student Congress, Franklin Varsity POM, National Honor Society, and the National Spanish Honor Society. Claire said this about being a student in LPS. I have loved being involved with student government and making friends throughout the experience. Congratulations to Claire, and we will make sure that she receives her certificate. Next, we welcome Serena Captor. Okay, great. Hi, Serena. Serena is a junior at Franklin High School, where she carries a 4.5 grade point average. She plans to attend Purdue University and major in chemistry. Her future career aspiration is to be a research and development chemist. During her time thus far, because you're a junior entering your senior year, during her time thus far at Franklin, she has been involved with the Quiz Bowl team, and she also enjoys Civil War reenactment, which is really cool. Serena's had this to say about her time thus far in LPS. Almost every teacher is incredibly kind and helpful. The schools are extremely clean and offer many AP classes. Congratulations, Serena. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. All right. And next we welcome Rayan Khan. Did I pronounce that correctly? Rayhan. Thank you. Welcome, Rayhan. Rayhan is a senior at Churchill High School and is, you guessed it, he's also a student in the MSc program, where he carries a whopping 4.7 GPA. Rayhan is involved in Quiz Bowl, DECA, mock trial. He is the president of the National Honor Society and of the Mu Alpha Theta chapter, and also served as the sponsorship chair for the Touch a Truck fundraiser event put on by the Churchill Interact Club in coordination with Livonia Rotary. In his spare time, he also plays the piano. Rayhan has scooped up several awards through his activities, including being on the Quiz Bowl first team All-State twice, and he was named an All-Star in the Quiz Bowl National Championship. He was also named a DECA state champion. Excellent. He plans to attend the University of Michigan to study economics and aspires to be a lawyer. He said he had this to say about his educational journey in LPS. LPS has given me the opportunity to be around other students and teachers who love learning the same way that I do. These people have always challenged me and helped me become sharper and smarter. The people are what make LPS incredibly special. Congratulations, Rayhan. I have a feeling we're going to say, I knew these students when. Their futures are very bright. Next, we welcome Kanav Sharma. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay, great. Kanav is also a senior in the MSc program at Churchill, where he carries a also whopping 4.7 GPA, and is involved in Livonia Warriors and Tyro's robotics teams, the Asian American Student Association, of which he is the founder and president. He serves as the Quiz Bowl captain and is also a member of the National Honor Society, National Math Honor Society, and the National Spanish Honor Society. In his spare time, he enjoys Indian folk dance, which is called Fertile Shokin Bangra. Was that close? Yeah. Thank you. Kanav was recognized as an AP scholar with distinction, which is also quite an honor. He plans to attend the University of Michigan to major in robotics and aspires to a career in machine learning-oriented robotics. He had this to say about being a student in LPS. The supportive staff and teachers and the variety of resources turned even the most challenging courses and assignments into a rewarding learning experience. Congratulations, Kanav, and best of luck to you. There you go. Thank you. Our next honoree also could not join us this evening, but we will, of course, share his story as well. We recognize Gregory Yezhvan. Unfortunately, Gregory was not able to join us this evening, but let me tell you a little bit about him. He is a senior at Stevenson High School and carries a 4.46 GPA. He is involved in several activities, including the Stevenson Quiz Bowl, Chess Club, and the Livonia Warriors robotics team. He serves as the co-founder and co-president of the Stevenson National Math Honor Society and is also involved in numerous academic activities through Schoolcraft, U of M, and Lawrence Tech. He plans to attend Caltech and major in computer science and mathematics. Gregory had this to say about his time in LPS. The freedom to take so many dual enrollment classes has provided me with so many wonderful opportunities. So congratulations to Gregory. We'll make sure he gets a certificate. And that concludes our presentation. One more round of applause for these amazingly talented students.
Are there comments from board members or our superintendent? Mrs. Opus.
Thank you so much. Well, congratulations to each of you. This is certainly not the first time I have heard about you, but I'm so excited that all of the folks here and all of the folks watching at home have. The things that you have done throughout your high school career, throughout your schooling in general, is quite remarkable. When Mrs. Jenkins shares not only your academic success, but the way that you've continued to give back. And I know many of you have also been part of service projects and other ways that you serve our community. As many of you are part of our robotics team, which also has a heart, at its heart, service. I am definitely looking forward to the Touch a Truck event this summer, and I know you've been very involved in coordinating all of that along with our Rotary groups. And I am so excited to see what you do next. I'd like to take a moment and to ask each of your parents who are here with you tonight to please stand so we can recognize you. Please. This is never done alone, is it? And the people that surround you, you've talked about your teachers, you've talked about your classmates, and those folks sitting beside you, sitting behind you, care more about you than you can imagine. And I know how very proud their hearts are this evening for you. And so thank you to each of the parents for all that you have given throughout their careers, because without you, they would not be able to achieve what they have. We are so tremendously proud of you. Mrs. Jenkins, as usual, you did a remarkable job highlighting such special students.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Comments from any other board members? Well, on behalf of the board, we are so impressed. As Mrs. Jenkins mentioned, every May, we have the honor of spending a few minutes listening to all of your accomplishments. And our question every year is, when do you sleep? Because, my goodness, we're all busy people, but you folks have managed to accomplish so very much. We are so impressed. We're so proud of you, and we can't wait to see all of the wonderful things you do. So please, as life takes you on your next chapters of your journeys, please make sure to come back and share with us all that you've accomplished on your next chapter. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. The next item on our agenda this evening is another celebration. Item 3B is the recognition of the Livonia Livonia Figure Skating State Champions. And may I have a motion, please?
President Burton.
Mrs. Frank.
Move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District adopt the attached resolutions in recognition of Livonia High School Figure Skating State Champions Audrey Blaken, Tegan Huston, and Julia Sawaski.
Support.
We are going to turn it over to Mrs. Jenkins.
Okay, thank you, President Burton. We're excited to close out this school year with yet another state championship celebration. Tonight, we welcome and congratulate 3 members of the Livonia High School figure skating team who excelled in their sport earlier this spring and skated away with state champion titles. As you know, the Livonia High School figure skating team is also known as a united team. So it has members from all 3 of our high schools competing in various events that culminate in a state championship. The team is coached by Kate Vanek and supported by sponsor Lindsay Backen. We are excited to congratulate 3 members of the team, but as you see behind me, I'd also love to recognize all of the girls who are here tonight joining us. You all should be very proud of a great, great season, and keep going for that state championship in your individual events. First, we'd love to welcome Tegan Houston. Did I pronounce that right? Okay. Tegan is a sophomore at Franklin High School and just finished her 2nd year on the team. But she is certainly not new to figure skating. She has been skating since she was 5 years old. She competed individually at the Michigan High School State Championship, finishing 2nd in the qualifying round and 1st place in the final, earning her the title of state champion. Tegan said that earning a state champion title in figure skating means that all of the early mornings, long practices, and yes, some setbacks, all of that was worth it. And winning is proof that hard work, consistency, and believing in yourself really does pay off. If I could invite Board Secretary Madeline Acosta to join us at the podium, we've prepared a special resolution for you, Tegan. Yay! You have a, oh, good, okay. That'll work. Okay. And then here's. Of course, it's the 3rd one.
Livonia Public Schools, May 26, 2026, resolution. Whereas the trustees of the Livonia Public Schools District Board of Education are desirous of publicly recognizing the outstanding accomplishments of students who distinguish themselves during the pursuit of their public education in the school district, and whereas Tegan Houston, a sophomore at Franklin High School, has distinguished herself by achieving the 2025-2026 skate champion title at the Michigan High School Figure Skating Skate Championship, and whereas Tegan is a 2nd-year member of the Livonia High School figure skating team, led by Coach Kate Vanek and sponsor Lindsay Backen, and whereas this individual state champion title adds to the overall successful season of the Livonia High School figure skating team, which ranked 5th in District 1 for the club's B team, and a strong state champion runner-up finish for the club's C team. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the trustees of the Board of Education do hereby commend and congratulate Tegan Houston for her outstanding accomplishments in athletics and wish her well in her future endeavors as she applies the discipline and perseverance needed to excel in sports to all areas of her life. Congratulations.
I always invite the students to say a few words, and it's always. All right. Next, we have a pair of honorees, but unfortunately, we only have half the pair here tonight. Again, mentioning that it's a very busy time of the year. We have one of 2, so that's good, but we're still going to talk about both. So we have a pair of figure skaters who took their skills, talent, and yes, their teamwork all the way to the state championship. Unfortunately, team captain Julia Sokolowski was unable to join us this evening. But she is a senior at Stevenson High School, and we do welcome her skating partner, who is also in on the state championship title. We welcome Audrey back into the podium. Come on up, Audrey. Okay, Audrey, by the way, is a freshman at Stevenson High School. So this dynamic duo of Audrey and Julia competed in the duet category at the Michigan High School State Championship and came away with a first place finish as state champs. Julia and Audrey have been duet partners for 6 years, and what a perfect way to close out the season and also close out the high school level of skating, of Julia's skating career. Julia has been skating since she was 7 years old, and earning a state championship title means so much to her, she said. Not just personally, but as one of the many figure skaters who have worked hard to gain recognition, specifically earning a varsity letter. She said this achievement is more than a win. It highlights the dedication behind the sport and shows that the Livonia team has a promising future ahead. And if I could invite, we're going to go ahead and read the resolution into the record too for Julia. And then we'll get to you, Audrey. If I could invite Trustee Karen Bradford to join us. If you want to have a seat right there, that's fine. This is for Julia? Yeah. I should have switched those around.
That's okay.
Okay, there
Thank
we
you.
are.
Sure. Livonia Public Schools, May 26, 2026 resolution. Whereas the trustees of the Livonia Public Schools School District Board of Education are desirous of publicly recognizing the outstanding accomplishments of students who distinguish themselves during the pursuit of their public education in the school district. And whereas Julia Sokolowski, a senior at Stevenson High School, has distinguished herself by achieving the 2025-2026 state champion title in the duet category at the Michigan High School Figure Skating State Championship. And whereas Julia is captain of the Livonia High School figure skating team, led by Coach Kate Vanek and sponsor Lindsay Backen, and earned the state champion title with skating partner Audrey Backen, a freshman at Stevenson High School. And whereas this duet state champion title adds to the overall successful season of the Livonia High School figure skating team, which ranked 5th in District 1 for the club's B team and a strong state champion runner-up finish for the club's C team. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the trustees of the Board of Education do hereby commend and congratulate Julia Sokolowski for her outstanding accomplishments in athletics and wish her well in her future endeavors as she applies the discipline and perseverance needed to excel in sports to all areas of her life. Congratulations, Julia.
Thank you so much, Trustee Bradford. And now, on to Audrey. Come on up. Audrey, as I mentioned, is a freshman at Stevenson High School, but she has been on the ice for 12 years. Wow. She started skating in the Learn to Skate program when she was just 3 years old. Through the years, she has competed both individually and as a member of the national qualifying synchronized skating team. She said winning her first state championship was even more special because she was able to do it with her longtime duet partner, Julia. She said that they had always wanted to compete together when she was a freshman and Julia was a senior. And they did just that, and they came away as state champions. So congratulations. I would like to ask Vice President Crystal Frank to join us to read the resolution that we've prepared for Audrey.
Thank you. Ms. Zoquist, you already have me with being a senior parent, and my heart goes out to all the senior parents who are here tonight, and just parents in general, just the proud feeling that you feel, and all the years of hard work. And the kids, right, they're happy for the awards too, but you have seen them grow from the very beginning, so it means sometimes more to the parents than it does to the kids. Sometimes. All right, are you ready? Whereas the trustees of the Livonia Public Schools District Board of Education are desirous of publicly recognizing the outstanding accomplishments of students who distinguish themselves during the pursuit of their public education in the school district. And whereas Audrey Bacon, a freshman at Stevenson High School, has distinguished herself by achieving the 2025-26 state championship title in the duet category at the Michigan High School Figure Skating State Championship. And whereas Audrey is a member of the Livonia High School figure skating team led by Coach Vanek and sponsor Lindsey Bacon, and earned the state champion title with skating partner Julia Sokolowski, a senior at Stevenson High School. And whereas this duet state champion title adds to the overall successful season of the Livonia High School figure skating team, which ranked 5th in District 1 for the club's B team and a strong state champion runner-up finish for the club's C team. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the trustees of the Board of Education do hereby commend and congratulate Audrey Bacon for her outstanding accomplishments in athletics and wish her well in her future endeavors as she applies the discipline and perseverance needed to excel in sports to all areas of life. Congratulations. We're so happy.
Thank you. Please join me in another round of applause for these amazing athletes and students. We will make sure that Julia receives her resolution as well.
Alrighty.
That's all we have.
Okay, do we have comments or questions from board members or the superintendent? Mrs. Frank?
I just also wanted to say, I think we're so proud of your accomplishments on the ice, in the classroom, but also the people that you are. And some of them I know better than others, but just the people that you are and the contributions to society, as Mrs. Oquist said, I think that we're so proud of that, the friends that you are to your friends, and the peers that you are, and just who you are inside, just as much as your accomplishments that you accomplish. So we're so proud of your whole being and so grateful for your experience here at Livonia Public Schools.
Thank you. Other comments from board members? Mrs. Oquist?
Thank you so much, President Burton. Do we have Mrs. Bakken and Mrs. Vanek here? Can't see behind the, would you please stand up so you can both be recognized? Pardon? And I would love to have our entire varsity Livonia figure skating team please stand and be recognized. Thank you so much. There is so much that goes into this. When we hear about students starting at 3 years of age, but I think we also heard someone who had just joined the team last year, right? And within that, we know that takes an incredible amount of endurance and skill, especially in this sport. So as student athletes, you have both the student part and the athlete part. And to be able to have not only your parent support, but your coach and sponsor support is so important, because these are either early mornings or late evenings when you're at the rink, and there are, I'm sure, some days when you're putting on your gear and you don't quite feel there. But hopefully moments like this remind you of why you began and why you continue to do it. But thank you for the beautiful grace that you show on the ice, and for all of your grit and endurance and resilience off the ice. Congratulations to each and every one of you.
Any other board members? Whenever I hear state championship, my kids, I'm in a different sport, made it to the finals, not quite there, but to the finals. And it's so funny, as I've relayed to to my board members before, you can totally tell who understands how huge this is and who just thinks it's nice. You'll tell some folks, they say, oh, that's nice. It's like, you have no idea. This is huge. This is enormous. This is making it through districts, regionals, all the way, through. But the state champion in the entire state of Michigan is an enormous accomplishment. We are so proud of you, and we really, as parents of kiddos through Livonia Public Schools, we get it. We think it's way more than nice. We think it's just amazing. So congratulations, ladies, and it is something you will remember all of your lives. So. At this time, we have a motion to vote on, a motion for the recognition of Livonia Figure Skating State Champions. Motion by Mrs. Frank, supported by Mrs. Jarvis. And Mrs. Acosta, would you please take the roll?
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McFarland?
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton?
Yes, and that motion passes. Congratulations again, ladies. At this time, we're going to move on to item 3D, which is the district update from the superintendent. Mrs. Oquist.
Thanks so much, President Burton, and thank you, Mrs. Ward, for putting that up on the screen for us. So hopefully, wherever you are, you can see the screen and follow along with our kiddos. Do I have someone moving it along? Thank you, Mrs. O'Brien. All right, here we go. We're going to first start with, I just deleted the first slide, so hold on. Hold on. That wasn't where we wanted it to go. Okay, here we go. All right, we're ready. We always start with learning and growing, and this month is no difference. We have some of our amazing Webster Wildcats here, and they've participated for over a 2-month period of time in a project-based learning event, and many of us had the opportunity to become clients during this project-based learning, and we were invited into the Family 2 classes. We were interviewed by students, and they were able to design an entire trip for us within the United States. So we had to tell them our ideal location, the types of things we would want to do when we got there, and a budget. They were extraordinarily impressive. I know many of my colleagues participated in this, and we were sent emails to just double check on the planning along the way. And I have to say, I have to give a shout out to the group that worked with me, because apparently I was a bit stingy and I didn't give them a great budget. So they said they did the best they could with what I gave them. Mrs. O'Brien, was it you that said it was unlimited? I did. Yeah. I gave them no limit. So they all wanted Mrs. O'Brien, not so much Mrs. Oquist. But it was wonderful, and I believe they all asked us, do you really intend to go? Because they had it down to the detail, the Airbnb, the events, and thankfully mine found lots of free things to do when I'm going to be out on the West Coast. But congratulations to our, I think it says Family 3, but I believe it was our Family 2 kiddos who were there. And I know many of our board members were also able to be a part of that, and we see Mrs. Bradford up there as well. All right, moving right along, we continue to learn and grow, and one of our very favorite field trips that we are so proud to say all of our second graders get to experience in Livonia Public Schools. I don't know if any of you had a chance to go on this when you were that age. I know my own kids did when they were in second grade, but it's the one-room schoolhouse at Greenmead. And thanks to the support from the Livonia Historical Society, they provide the funding for the buses to take our kiddos each year. And then thanks to our teachers, because they really create a remarkable experience, but they really go back into the times of that era and do schoolwork and have the experience. The students dress up, and this is a wonderful group from Kennedy with their teachers. So it's a great experience for our students, and I'm so appreciative to our staff who take the time to put these experiences together for our kids. We're moving right along. As you know, lots of what we feature is opportunities to collaborate. So learning, we do that through learning games and many other facets, but we see some of our Cooper kiddos here at our 5-6, our upper elementary school, working together and enjoying working in groups. And then we'll hop over to Rosedale and Randolph. Both had groups as part of Girls on the Run. And so both Rosedale and Randolph had inaugural groups this year for the Girls on the Run program, and they do this over a period of a couple months. They meet with 3rd and 4th grade students who have an opportunity to really learn about physical fitness, positive self-esteem, wellness, and they also do some walking and a little bit of running. So these kiddos got up bright and early, left at 6:45 a.m. on a bus from school, and had a 5K down at Metro Park. So congratulations to each of them, and thank you to the teams at Rosedale and Randolph who put together this experience for our students. As you know, May was Staff Appreciation, and boy, did our folks go all out. Many of this was thanks to our generous parents, our PTAs, and across the district, staff were just treated in many, many ways, from lunches and breakfasts to snacks and grab bags, and that is always so greatly appreciated. I know especially the coffee treats are always a big one this time of year. As you know, thanks to the Board of Education, we had a chance to share our thank you through a gift of spiritware. And so staff across the district, thanks to a great idea Mrs. Jenkins had, we had a pop-up spirit day a couple of Fridays ago. And so you see some groups here from different schools or departments, and I think onto the next page as well. And so it's wonderful to see that spirit come out across our school district. And although there are lots of different versions of it, you see the same LPS logo, that purpose, passion, pride that comes through. And we're so grateful to our board that we're able to do this as a gift to our staff. It's just a small token to let them know how much they mean to us. I think one of our students talked about it being the people that make the difference, and boy, do they have that right. And so we're moving right along. So last Friday was the Spring Matsuri Festival at Niji-Iro. For those of you that don't know, Niji-Iro is our Japanese immersion school. It's one of only 4 in the country, where our students learn half of their day in Japanese and half of their day in English. And so students, tons of parent volunteers, and families had a phenomenal time with their parades, their dances, many of the games. Just a wonderful day together there at Niji-Iro. The next slide will show some additional, another parade and some of the other fun with food and games that our students had last week. So thanks to Mr. DeLuca and the entire staff over at Niji-Iro. We want to share some kudos across the district now. We'll start with, boy, just tilt your head a little bit and you'll, there we are. This is our Galileo Leadership Cohort. So as you'll see here, 6 of our 7 Galileo grads, they completed their 2-year program. It's one of the most impactful professional development teacher leader programs in the country. And these amazing teachers were chosen to be part of that. And so Mrs. O'Brien and I loved to meet with them. We had a fireside chat last week as they ended their experience, and then we had an opportunity to see them graduate last week from the program. And we just welcomed another 4 or 5 teachers from Livonia as part of our next Galileo cohort. So they are embarking on their journey in June. Sub a staffer, so you, my goodness, as you know here, well, that is quite a photo up in the front. Okay, let's focus on Mrs. Sproul in the left-hand photo, working with students. But in all honesty, you'll this has been a lot of fun. You'll see in the bottom right-hand corner, these are all of the staff members whose names were chosen out of the raffle to have an afternoon off. And so courtesy of the cabinet team and myself, we all covered a staff member in Livonia. We did their job for the morning or afternoon. They enjoyed a free day off. And so we've had a wonderful time. I had the opportunity to fill in for Mrs. McCormick, who is a jack of all trades and who is extraordinarily busy greeting folks for Livonia Public Schools. Mrs. Sproul was a team lead over at Grant in our MART program. I know we have all of our cabinet team will be either working as a building supervisor, secretary, bus transportation paraprofessional, teacher. What else do we have up there? Is there anything I'm missing, guys? Counselor. Those are still taking place throughout the rest of this year. But thank you so much to all who donated. The winner is the LPS Education Foundation, because we were able to raise almost $2,000 from the raffle ticket. So thank you to all who bought. Sorry if if your name wasn't chosen and we didn't cover you this year, but hopefully next year. All right, so we had a Kappa senior farewell. Boy, it is that time of year where our seniors have those opportunities for those final goodbyes. And so a large senior class at Kappa, and so they had a final performance called Love of a Pig. So we want to congratulate the acting class at Kappa. As you know, we have dance, we have vocal, and we have acting, and they have put on some tremendous performances over the past 4 years. You would never know you were sitting in a high school as you hear them. So speaking of folks who dream big and play big, we have our Frost musicians. The guitar ensemble, band, orchestra, and choir all earned Superior Division I ratings at Festival this week. That's huge. That may sound basic. That is the highest rating. And to have all of our areas achieve that ranking, including guitar, which is a relatively new offering at our middle and high schools. So they were, the adjudicators were very, very complimentary of our students' preparation, their performance quality, their attitude. So Mr. Reyes and his team continue to do a phenomenal job. I believe Mr. Van Ham is also over there. Am I correct? Is anybody backing me up? All right. I believe Mr. Van Ham is also over there for a class, but Mr. Reyes has most of those. So thank you so much to our Frost musicians. Way to go. Another great senior celebration always is the Global Ed Senior Celebration. So Global Education is a special magnet program that we have at Stevenson High School. And so every year there's a huge celebration for the seniors, and it's a wonderful, wonderful event. You see many of our staff part of that team this year, and the teachers there are so tremendously dedicated to the work of global education and providing students with a remarkable journey for their ELA and their social studies programming. And so we have many of our students here who was celebrated. As you know, we recognized their accomplishments at Maimon earlier this year, which were outstanding. And we want to say a special thank you and goodbye to a longtime member of the Global Ed team who was part of that, Mr. Gobble, who was part of our economics program, and he'll be moving on and retiring after this year. So thank you to all the staff there who worked so hard with our students. And does this look familiar to you? Yeah, doesn't it? Look at this. All right, we have the Churchill Interact Club. So the Interact Club is the high school level Rotary Club for our students. And so Churchill has an amazing Interact Club. They presented a check totaling $11,000 from last year's Touch a Truck. With a fundraiser to Rotary, LPS Robotics, Livonia Save Our Youth, Livonia Police and Fire, and more. So I would just like to give that, because I know how involved you've been with that, a huge round of applause to the entire Churchill Interact Fund. That's absolutely remarkable. The past 2 weeks, we have had just so many wonderful honors nights, haven't we? So from our middle schools, our high schools, it has been amazing. And I know how much work goes into preparing those events, and each of our auditoriums were packed to the brim with proud parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, and family members. Our students were on stage being recognized not only for their academic accomplishments, but for their character as well. And so many of our schools have really begun to incorporate those elements into our honors nights. And there were so many students recognized at our 3 middle schools and our 3 high schools. And we were so proud to see everything that was shared throughout these several evenings. It really makes our hearts swell with pride. So thank you to our board members for making time, for being part of that, and especially to our staffs for recognizing our amazing students. We had a really special afternoon a couple of weeks ago where we were able to celebrate the seniors who are going to be moving on from the Livonia Franklin Transition Program. And so you see them here in the pictures, and it was absolutely heartwarming to hear the story of their journeys and where they are headed next and the growth that they have made. And truly, it really, we talk about here their spirit of kindness, care, and resilience. They are such an important part of Franklin High School, and I want to thank our entire team at FTP for the work that they do with our students. So congratulations to each of them. That was really, I think, one of our favorite days. We've had a number of students, one from each high school receive a Rotary Vocational Award. We're so grateful to the Noon Rotary Club for recognizing our students. In this one, we see Jacob Shook, who was recognized by the Livonia Rotary for a vocational award, and he was our most recent. They really focus on not only exemplary work skills, but really the character of the individual that's being recognized. Some other recognitions come from our kitchen staff. One of the neat things I think that they do through the state of Michigan is they recognize our food and nutrition services staff who have at least 25 years serving students. And I will tell you, this is one of the areas where we have some of the most longevity in the district. As we have done our 30-year awards or we've done the state recognitions, I want to thank Mr. Green, our assistant superintendent who oversees operations, as well as Ms. Schuhart, who is our food and nutrition services supervisor. They both went out and saw each of these staff members individually. There were even more than those that are pictured, but here we have Susan Rinke, Phyllis Sider, Gina Winter, Kathy Rakan, and Jane Brooks. They have served a combined total of 209 years in LPS. So congratulations to each of them. Just remarkable. We're so grateful for their dedication. Many of them have told us that they started when their kiddos went off to school. And then they were home and they decided, I'm gonna dabble into the school world. And they found their love serving breakfast, lunch, and working with the students at our schools. And we're so grateful for that. Speaking of some pretty cool and awesome people, we have our Board of Education. Once again, they have completely outdone themselves. So we have honorees. We have our entire board who was honored. You really are in that picture, Mr. Johnson. I know we only see maybe an eyeball and half of a tie, but you're in it too. Our entire board was recognized once again for being an honor board, and they are now a Standard of Excellence honor board, which is an even higher level. And so that means our entire board serve as certified board members, have achieved level 1 and level 2 at least. And we also had Mr. McFarland, Mrs. Jarvis, and Mrs. President Burton, who were all recognized with individual awards. And I'm sorry I don't recall each of all of them, but I know that President Burton received the Master Level 6, the Master Diamond Level 6 award, which I believe may be the first in our school district. So congratulations. As you know, this team goes above and beyond, but what you do not only for our students and our staff, but the work you do for yourself to continue to grow and to work together as such a cohesive team that continues to guide us in a remarkable way. We are so lucky. That's the bottom line. We are so lucky. All right, mark your calendars. We've got the golf outing coming. Who isn't excited, Mr. McFarland? Right?
There may or may not be golf balls with my face on it, if that's any encouragement.
What could be better? What could be better? Well, who's going to want to hit that?
Well,
Nice smiling face. Oh, well, we've got takers. We've got takers. Okay. We are our 4th annual golf outing. We'd love to have you come and join us. We are so excited to have our presenting sponsor is Plant Moran Real Point. So we're going to be at Idlewild on July 18th. Saturday. It's such a fun day, amazing raffle baskets, but just a ton of fun out on the course. We would love to have you join us. It benefits our LPS Education Foundation. Kindergarten registration is still open. How about this little doll who we welcomed the class of 2039 last week for kindergarten roundup? Yes, picture that on your varsity jacket. So mine says 85. How about that, you guys? Yeah. Even one of the dads was like, wow. That's something. And so we loved having our kindergarten kiddos last week, but registration is open. So if you haven't gotten registered, please be sure to do that. So thank you, President Burton, for letting me share some highlights from across our district.
Absolutely. We are thrilled. So there's a lot to celebrate in our district, and your update, Andrea, is always so much fun. The next item on our agenda is item 3D, audience communications. Audience communications is a time that the Board of Education sets aside to listen to members of the community. It is intentionally not a question and answer session, but rather a listening time. Any member of the community is welcome to participate in audience communications. I do have an individual who has indicated that they'd like to participate this evening. If anyone else wants to participate in audience communications this evening, there are blue slips just outside the door that we would ask that you would fill out. And if you could just hand them to Mr. McFarland, he can make sure that it makes its way down to me so I can call on you at the appropriate time. Audience communications is limited to 3 minutes per person. We do ask that you respect that time. We do that so that everyone has the same fair amount of time in order to express themselves. We do have one individual who has chosen to participate in audience communications this evening, and that is Jennifer Gotts. So, Ms. Gotts, if you could make your way to the podium, we would be happy to hear from you. We're going to have Mrs. Frank set a timer, so if you hear that tone, you'll know that you've hit your 3 minutes, and if you could wrap up your comments, we find that that's more polite than trying to interrupt somebody. Yeah. If you could tap your microphone until it turns green, just give it a quick tap. Yep, there you go. Now you're all set.
Okay, well, good evening.
Good evening.
I am
Welcome.
here, thank you. My name is Jennifer Gotts. As you said, I do work for the district. I'm a school psychologist. And I know it said to state my address. I live in Milford, but, so I appreciate the opportunity to speak this evening. I wanted to bring to your attention, and I don't know if you've already spoken with anybody else about this previously, but I wanted some clarification regarding a grant that I was awarded in December of 2024 for $50,000 for a vehicle for the post-secondary program for community-based learning. And at this point, the funds have not been appropriated. So I would like to get some more information as to the timeline on that and when we can expect some movement, because the foundation is questioning me about that. And I don't have any answers. So I don't know if that's something that can be provided now or at a later date, but that's what I am here to seek.
Okay, great. The Board of Education handles, and I should have said this first, handles primarily hiring and evaluating the superintendent, writing and evaluating and updating policy, and setting long-term and strategic goals for the district. Almost all other items which would fall under day-to-day operations are handled by our superintendent or administrative team. So I will ask Mrs. Oquist to see that someone gets back with Ms. Gotts and gets the information to her that she needs.
Absolutely. I know Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Brow and Mr. Green have all been working on this, and I believe are very close to that purchase coming in June. Lots of different elements to make that work. Lots of complexities around it with regard to insurance and maintenance planning and determining who's going to operate in things. But
Sounds
thank
good.
you for your patience, and I'm certain our team will get back to you soon.
Okay, will they be getting back to the foundation? Because the last communication, the foundation was requesting a response and they haven't received it, and so then they come to me about that.
We'll be certain that
So
they
it's
do.
not so much as me as the foundation, but I would
bet.
like information too. So,
They'll be happy
Alrighty.
to.
all right.
Thank you.
so much, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to participate in audience communications this evening? All righty. Seeing none, we're going to move on to item 4, the consent agenda, and may I have a motion, please?
President Burton,
Mrs. Jarvis.
move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District approve the following consent agenda items as recommended by the superintendent. 5A, minutes of the special meeting of May 4th, 2026. 5B, minutes of the regular meeting of April 20th, 2026. 6A, approval of purchase of copy paper 2026-2027.
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Jarvis, supported by Mrs. Bradford for the consent agenda. Are there?
Point of order.
Yes.
The approval of purchase of copy paper is actually item 7A. It reads 6A, but because we moved up personnel, it's
Ah.
actually item 7A. So That will need to be reread.
Okay. Mrs. Jarvis, would you mind rereading the motion into the record?
I'd be
Sorry,
happy to.
folks, it sounds redundant, but we have to vote on what was actually read into the record.
Move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District approve the following consent agenda items as recommended by the superintendent. 5A, minutes of the special meeting of May 4th, 2026. 5B, minutes of the regular meeting of April 20th, 2026. 7A, approval of purchase of copy paper 2026-2027.
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Jarvis, supported by Mrs. Bradford. Are there any items on the consent agenda that board members would like to have removed for further discussion? Seeing none, we have a motion by Mrs. Jarvis, supported by Mrs. Bradford, for the consent agenda. And Mrs. Acosta, would you please take the roll?
Mrs. Jarvis?
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McFarland?
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton?
Yes, and that motion passes. We are now on to another fun item on our agenda, after which we will take a break, I promise. Item 7 is personnel matters, and 7A is the appointment of Director of Human Resources. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton,
Mr. McFarland?
move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District accept the recommendation of the superintendent and appoint Deanne Urso as the Director of Human Resources.
Support.
We have a concert of support there. We have a motion by Mr. McFarland, supported by Mr. Johnson, for the appointment of Director of Human Resources. And, give me just a moment. We, at this point, we'll hear from Mrs. Oquist.
Oh, we're going to start with Mr. Francis
Oh.
and then me.
Okay, we'll hear from Mr. Francis.
Thank you very much, President Burton. So just a little background, very, very brief. And usually, as you throw it to us, you want us to say a little something. So we chopped down quite a bit of what we could have been talking about. Otherwise, the crowd will get a little rowdy after a while. So, and I know that Mrs. Oquist is going to have an opportunity to speak as well. So I will just begin with Deanne's career with Livonia Public Schools. It spans more than 3 decades. And it reflects a deep commitment to students, staff, leadership development, and organizational growth. She began in 1994 as an elementary school teacher. Since leaving the classroom, she's served in multiple leadership roles, including elementary principal, middle school principal, and most recently as secondary coordinator of district innovation. Deanne has cultivated many varied relationships with all stakeholders, students, staff, parents, and the community. Those who've crossed paths with Deanne know she's a relationships-first person. She's shown her strengths as a thinker, collaborator, communicator, advocate, and myriad other positive qualities. She earned her bachelor's degree from Medina University and a master's degree in public administration from the University of Michigan at Dearborn. Additionally, she holds a K-12 administrator certificate with the state of Michigan. Deanne has shown herself to be smart, driven, supportive, and a strong leader with Livonia Public Schools. She fulfills all the requirements for this position, and we wholeheartedly recommend her for the position of Director of Human Resources.
Thank you. Mrs. Oquist.
Thank you so much. Mr. Francis, I don't know that you took all the good parts. No, in all seriousness, I know to our Board of Education, I've shared with you a good deal about why I'm recommending Ms. Urso for this position this evening. As you know her background, certainly initially as a teacher. I'm going to go back just a little bit further. And she actually started as a student teacher at Hayes Elementary School. And so she has been Livonia through and through since her first day and through today. And it is no surprise that she has been successful in each position she has held. As an educator, her relationships with students, her relationships with her teammates, the leaders at her school, secretary at her school, with everyone were second to none. And it didn't take long for people to see that spark that ignited inside her as she worked with students and was an advocate for them really grew her leadership through a teacher leadership role at Cooper Upper Elementary, where she had the opportunity to learn alongside some phenomenal folks. And I think that that time really shaped her as well. And then she became an elementary principal, not soon after we had the Legacy Initiative, and so she was only at Tyler for a short time, and then moved on to Kennedy, and really was one of those healing forces. That was a time as communities came together where we needed leaders who could take people not just by the hand, but by the heart. And that's what Deanne does. She cares about them deeply. She makes sure that children know that when she's there, they have an advocate. They have somebody who cares deeply about them, and staff knows that as well. And then she was willing to take the leap of faith and move from the K-4 level to upper elementary at Johnson, and take on that new role as our upper elementaries really thrive as this place for our preteens. And it really is a unique and special place. And so she was then able to seamlessly make that transition to the middle school level. And it's not easy to have been a leader at the K-4, the K-6, the 5-6, and the 7-8. And from all of that, was she done? Oh, no. She was willing to take on really an inaugural role, as did Mr. Grizak in our MTSS in district innovation. As you know, she has so ably led our secondary choir process at the middle school and high school levels. She oversees all of our English language learners, staff, and programs, and cares deeply about the people within the program and the children that they serve. She's also really began the work and really formed the impact of our secondary teacher facilitators as well, and the work that they're doing in the multi-tiered system of support that may not make a whole lot of sense to folks here, but those roles are so impactful in making sure that all of our students are successful learners, that we're taking into account the whole child. And so it's each of these experiences, as well as her deep knowledge of Livonia Public Schools and the people within our school district, that I truly believe she is the right person at the right time to fill this very important role. We're thrilled to have her join our cabinet team and to be a partner in crime to Mr. Grizak in the Human Resources Department. And we know they will continue to be not only a tremendous resource, but care about each of our humans as well. So I proudly recommend Ms. Urso for this position.
Thank you. Do we have comments or questions from board members before we vote on this item? Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, President Burton, and I know Mrs. Oquist has already put you into that position. We haven't voted yet, but just a formality. I just remember when I first got on the board, when you were at Kennedy, and you're always very kind to me. I never saw a frown on your face. I still haven't. You've always got a smile. And you have, in every role that we have approved you moving up, you've surpassed our expectations. So I think I'll jump the gun too. Welcome.
Other comments? Mrs. Frank? No. Oh, Mrs. Jarvis.
Thank you. I remember your brief time at Tyler. You stepped in for the last year. It was messy. Our school was closing. Everyone was riddled with confusion. But you steered that ship, and you did an awesome job of it. This comes as no surprise, just the culmination of a wonderful journey.
Any other board members?
Congratulations.
Deanne, I will, I will chime in with my very first remembrance of specific conversation with you. It wasn't the first time we met, but the first thing that sticks in my mind, and it has stuck in my mind ever since, and it goes back a lot of years. But I remember you were talking to me, and we were chatting about some students that have some difficulties beyond the typical. And you were relaying a story of a little guy who was in your office, who frankly came from a very rough situation and was having a really rough go of it, specifically at that day. And he probably let some things fly that my first thought is most administrators would have shut him down for the manner in which he was expressing himself. I'll just put it that way. But you saw past that, and you saw to his heart and what he needed at that time. And I remember you saying, let it fly, I can take it. And then after he got himself expressed, you said, okay, let's go from here. And then you went through steps to helping him get onto a better path. But we need administrators who can take when Messi walks in the door, because life doesn't always come really neat and pretty. But you were the first one that really expressed that to me, and it stuck with me ever since, and that was years ago. And I just will always, always love that about you, that you truly, as Mrs. Oquist has said, you love the people first, and then we'll deal with the situation. We won't forget the situation. We got to deal with that too as administrators, but our people walk in with the heart first. So I'm thrilled to see you in a role of human resources, because now it's not just our littler people, it's our bigger people. But we all have situations that need to be dealt with every now and then with care. So I'm thrilled to see you in this role. Any other comments from other board members before we take a vote on this item?
No, that was well said.
We have a motion by Mr. McFarland, supported by Mr. Johnson, for the appointment of Director of Human Resources. And Mrs. Acosta, would you please take the roll?
Mr. McFarland.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis.
Yes.
Mrs. Frank.
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford.
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton.
Yes, and that motion passes. Congratulations.
So many of you know me, and you know I'm not generally lost for words. But I knew tonight was going to come with a little bit of emotion, so I made sure that I was prepared so I would stay on track, but not 3 minutes. So, good evening, President Burton, Board, Superintendent Oquist. I'm incredibly honored and humbled to stand before you tonight to accept the position of Human Resource Director in Livonia Public Schools. Remarkably, this is my third journey in this district that's brought me to this podium. 22 years ago, I stood here and accepted my first principalship at a school yet to be determined. And that appointment sparked a wonderful career, leading me to lead 5 different schools, K through 8. The second time I stood here was to accept the role of Secondary Intervention and Student Success Coordinator, currently Secondary Coordinator of District Innovations. And I must say this time I'm happy I don't have a mask on. I thought I knew LPS inside and out, but looking through a global lens in academic service proved me wrong. I'm grateful for Teresa O'Brien for supporting my vision in the new role of Student Success Coordinator, with a few parameters every now and then, and the phenomenal Academic Service Department, who I get to work with every day. But assisting me in bringing this vision to life was the secondary facilitators, who I have some back there, who worked tirelessly to build a framework and an MTS system for secondary schools. They took a chance on me and left the classroom for this journey. Forever grateful for them. So, year 1, the joke was, no offense back there, I was like the mommy duck and they were right behind me. Year 4, I have to make an appointment to talk to them. So that's good work, good things going on out there. Henry Ford once said, coming together is the beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. Andrea, I'm thrilled to join your cabinet team and continue to soak up your leadership for the next 7 months. From encouraging me to become a principal all those years ago to serving as my director and the superintendent for the past 11, our history runs deep. I look forward to bringing a sense of calm, a depth of knowledge, and an unwavering passion for this new role. Thank you for the incredible opportunity. Right alongside me for the 3rd time at the podium are my fan club, my #1 fans, my incredible parents, who I thank for instilling me with a strong work ethic and compassion, because it takes a lot of compassion to do our jobs. My brother and sister-in-law, who gave up their anniversary dinner to be here tonight. So happy anniversary to Joe and Aaron. To my aunts, who are my forever cheerleaders and behind me, and my best friend from grade school who's been on the LPS journey with me as well. 22 years ago, when I stood here, I had 3 little bodies, and those were my niece and my 2 nephews. Those bodies are here today, only now they have spouses and babies. So thank you for being here, and actually, they're the ones that make my heart beat that extra beat. A shout out to my nephew Joey, who's in Cleveland watching, and my significant other Chris, who's cheering me on from Lansing, recovering from knee surgery. My family's love and support means everything to me. Lastly, I have one quick confession to the cabinet team and everyone that was involved in this interviewing process. You probably think you got to know me a little bit better over the many hours we spent in round 1 and 2. But there's one thing you don't know about me. 24 years ago, Mayor Jack Kirksey gave me the key to the city. In all those years, I only managed to use it one time. The second time I tried to use it was right here at central office, and it didn't work. But look at me now. I have the ultimate upgrade, not just the key to the city, but a key to central office. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I can't wait to get to work. And one last thing, we talk about people. On that key to the city, I only brought the sample because the real one is going to stay with me. But on the key, it says Livonia, and it says people come first in Livonia. So I think that speaks to what we do in Livonia and what we've done as a school district and will continue to do as a school district. So again, thank you for this honor, and I'm ready to get to work.
At this time, we will take about a 5 to 10 minute break to congratulate our honorees. Please do make sure you make your way forward so we can get some pictures. I know there are a lot of folks that would like those. We'll be at recess for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Good evening. Welcome to the continuation of the Livonia Public Schools Board of Education regular meeting of May 26th, 2026. If you missed the first part of our meeting, you will want to rewind and watch because we had a lot of fun things to celebrate, both with students and staff. So please do feel free to rewind that and celebrate with us. We are on to item 6B, sympathy, or resolution of sympathy. And may I have a motion, please?
President Burton,
Mr. Johnson.
move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District adopt the attached sympathy resolution for the family of Kimberly Mankiewicz, paraprofessional in the Transportation Department.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Johnson, supported by Mrs. Jarvis. Mr. Johnson, would you read the resolution into the record for us, please?
I will. Livonia Public Schools Board of Education meeting, May 26, 2026. Sympathy resolution, Kimberly Mankiewicz. Whereas the Board of Education was very saddened to hear the untimely death of the wonderful individual Kimberly Mankiewicz, whose kindness and caring nature touched many throughout our school community. And whereas she was a highly valued member of our staff in the Livonia Public Schools School District as a paraprofessional in the Transportation Department, where her fun-loving nature was enjoyed by her coworkers for the past 20 years. And whereas she consistently demonstrated her outstanding dedication and commitment to students, parents, and staff through her care, commitment, and kindness, and willingness to support others each day. And whereas Kimberly will always be remembered with great fondness and with a profound sense of gratitude for the immeasurable contributions she made to our school district and respect for the positive impact she made on the lives of those who she served, she will be truly and greatly missed by all. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District offers its deepest sympathy, sincere condolences, and heartfelt compassion to the family, friends, and colleagues of Kimberly Mankiewicz.
Thank you. Just a moment, please. And I believe we're going to be hearing from Mr. Green on this item.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for reading that lovely resolution. I did not know Kim, but I would like to take a few minutes this evening to speak about Kim. Kim was a valued member of our Transportation Department, and in our work each and every day at Central Office, occasionally we'll get notices of passing of former LPS employees. We'll read them. We'll be often joy-filled because there's someone we worked with years ago. They've had a wonderful life. But when you get notices of a current employee, it hits you a little bit differently. And so I want to thank, first of all of our teams here at Central Office who are there to support our Transportation Department on Kim's passing this past April. As you probably have heard, Kim was a wonderful paraprofessional with our school district and worked on some of our most important transportation runs each and every day. So a couple things I'm going to share with you. I wanted to share something from her obituary page from our Livonia Paraprofessionals Association. Kim will be remembered for her humor and kindness. She loved what she did, and it showed with how she interacted with all the children she serviced over her career. She will be missed by all of us who had the pleasure of knowing her. One of our wonderful Frost special education providers wrote, "I'm a teacher at Frost Middle School, and Miss Kim was the paraprofessional on the bus for my students. Every morning she greeted me with a smile and wished all the kids a great day as they said goodbye. They truly loved her. She brought warmth and kindness to each day, and her presence meant so much to all of us. She'll be deeply missed, sending love and heartfelt condolences." Ms. Samantic, when I asked her to put together a few words about Kim, said she was a fun-loving coworker to everyone over the last 20 years. As Mo mentioned, she rode Bus 103 this school year, which went to Franklin, Frost, and Randolph. But through her career at LPS, she spent a lot of time on the Cook-Northville routes as well. She had a great work ethic. Would always count on Kim walking through the transportation doors at 6:15 a.m. each and every morning. And if she didn't know your name, she would call you Hun, which went hand in hand with her mothering style towards the students that were in her care. There wasn't a transportation employee that doesn't have a story that involves Kim, and she'll be greatly missed. I was very blessed about 2.5 weeks ago, to sub for a paraprofessional on a bus run. And whether it's Kim or anybody else, the work they do is special, and it's unique, and it's important. And her life was important, and she was a heck of a euchre player as well, according to Vicky. So I just, I thank the board for putting forth this resolution for Kim, and I wish her and her family well, and God bless her soul.
Are there any comments or questions from board members or the superintendent on this item?
Our hearts go out to Kim's daughter and her whole family, gone far too soon.
Absolutely. We have a motion by Mr. Johnson, supported by Mrs. Jarvis, for the sympathy resolution on behalf of Kimberly Mankiewicz, sorry. May I have I'm sorry. This one's for me. Would you please take the roll, please, Mrs. Acosta?
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis,
Yes.
Mrs. Frank,
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford,
Yes.
Mr. McFarland,
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes, President Burton.
Yes, and the motion passes. The next item on our agenda this evening is item 6C, teacher for approval. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton.
Mrs. Frank.
Move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District accept the recommendation of the superintendent and offer employment for the 2025-26 school year to the teacher listed on the attached document.
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Frank, supported by Mrs. Jarvis. And we will be hearing from Mr. Francis, looks like, on this item. Nope, I'm sorry. Mr. Gizek.
It's me.
Sorry about that. You're out of my line of sight there.
Good evening, everybody. The prospective new staff member we are presenting to the board this evening has been selected to fill a need in the kindergarten classroom. This candidate is well qualified to fill this position and has been fully vetted through our extensive interview process. We are confident she will perform at a high level and represent Livonia Public Schools in a manner that is consistent with our shared vision and collective commitments. We are pleased to recommend this talented teacher to join our LPS family with your approval.
Thank you. Do we have comments or questions from board members on this item? No. All righty. We have a motion by Mrs. Frank, supported by Mrs. Jarvis, for teacher for approval. Mrs. Acosta, would you please take the roll?
Mrs. Frank,
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis,
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. McFarland,
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes, President Burton.
Yes, and that motion passes. So welcome to the LPS family.
Congratulations.
The next item on our agenda is item 6D, leaves of absence. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton,
Mrs. Bradford.
move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District accept the recommendation of the superintendent and approve the requests for a leave of absence as listed below. Julie Fischel, 2026-2027 school year. Allison Weiss, 2026-2027 school year.
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Bradford, supported by Mrs. Acosta. And we will hear from Mr. Francis on this item.
Yes, thank you very much. The staff members listed in your board documents are requesting leave from Livonia Public Schools for the 2026-27 school year. The request is in accordance with the collective bargaining agreement for their bargaining unit, and I ask that you please consider approval of their leaves at this time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any comments or questions from board members or the superintendent? No? All righty, seeing none, we have a motion for leaves of absence. Motion by Mrs. Bradford, supported by Mrs. Acosta. And Mrs. Acosta, would you take the roll, please?
Mrs. Bradford,
Yes.
Mrs. Frank,
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. McFarland,
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes, President Burton.
Yes, and that motion passes. The next item on our agenda is item 6E, resignations, which does not require a board vote. The next item is 6F, retirements. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton,
Mr. Johnson.
move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District adopt the attached resolutions of appreciation for services rendered by Nancy Childs. My list must be bad because it says Philip Francis. Okay, Phil Francis, Cheryl Huff, Mary Kay Hussey, Dawn Piper, Rodney Pyle, Michael Savan, and Lisa Werner.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Johnson, supported by Mrs. Bradford. We are going to hear from Mr. Francis. You're not going to take this one? All right. Mr. Griesek.
I'll talk about Phil if he won't.
You could talk about him first. We'll talk about him next. You're not getting out that easy.
Tonight, we honor and congratulate 8 members of our LPS family who are retiring from their positions with Livonia Public Schools. As these staff members leave the district, they take with them a combined total of 216 years of experience. On behalf of the administration, I would like to thank our retirees for their dedicated years of service they have provided the students of LPS, and we ask the board to please adopt their attached resolutions of appreciation.
Thank you, Mr. Griesek. Are there comments or questions from board members? Mrs. Frank.
I want to congratulate all of our retirees because it is a major accomplishment. But Phil Francis, you have done a remarkable job for our district, and you have served well, and we are going to be very sad. I think several of us on this board came into the board when you came on, and you shepherded us and you showed us the ropes in a gracious and kind manner when we asked 1,000 questions and had laptops that didn't work in the beginning, and you were so gracious and kind to us. So thank you for all that you have done. You have served us well. Thank you.
Other comments or questions from board members? Mr. McFarland.
My first experience with Phil one-on-one, I guess it was actually one-on-two because Allison was with us, but it was my new board orientation, and it was probably the fastest 65 minutes of my life. And it became very apparent very fast that this man had forgotten more about public education than most people will spend a lifetime learning. And the passion, the ease, the, may I say, debonair. But it was clear that I was speaking to a professional, and from that moment on, I knew that it was someone to respect, someone to lean on, someone to ask when you need it. And Phil, I haven't known you too long, but I've really appreciated it and cannot wait to see how you enjoy your well-earned retirement.
Mrs. Bradford.
Phil, I want to wish you all the best, and really enjoyed working with you over the years, and I would say you are very competent at your job, even though we would laugh and have a lot of fun with it, and you always had a good time. So I enjoyed working with you, and I wish you all the best on your retirement.
Mrs. Acosta.
Thank you. Just briefly, I think when you first approached us to announce your retirement, I wasn't prepared for you to say that you were retiring. And it was like every thought, like, what do you mean you're leaving us? Where are you going? And my response was like, this is the only way that you can, that this is the only way that you could leave Livonia Public Schools. And this is a well-earned retirement. Thank you for all that you've done for our district.
Mrs. Jarvis.
Just to echo what my colleagues have said, it's a tough job. You make it look easy. And you are so good at it. I can't think of a situation that's gone by where I didn't sit back and say, what would Phil do? So thank you for that. Congratulations and good luck in retirement.
Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, President Burton. It's been a fun ride, Phil. I remember first coming on the board, and you were so helpful, and in your different roles, it's amazed me. Your brain must be like a sponge, because the roles that you've taken on, it's like that. You assimilate into that position, and you're knowledgeable about everything. It's incredible to me how, and I think somebody else said it, your knowledge, I think Dave said, you have forgotten more than most people will learn. And it's I almost call you my jack of all trades, because you know so much about everything. But you brought such a joy to your job. we've had some good laughs, but we've always had some good discussions too. And you being able to blend those together so well that it's almost seamless. You're going to be sorely missed, but I think we've hired a very good replacement tonight. I don't think her feet is as big as yours, so she won't fill your shoes right away. But I've really enjoyed your company, your mentorship, the things that you have taught me about this district that I would not have known. You taught me so much about salt. And copy paper, thank you. That I'll never forget. So I hope you have some good plans. I think we've talked a little bit about what you're going to do. It's spectacular. I hope you have a wonderful time, and please don't be a stranger. You know, I'd like to see you once you retire. Thank you.
Mrs. Oakwith?
Is that okay?
Go right ahead.
Okay.
Then I'll finish it up.
All right, so I'm going to do my best not to look at Phil while I share this, but I'll I'll share this with all of you.
It's easy to do.
So I'd love to tell you about my friend Phil. He's an exceptional individual, and he means a lot to me and to our team. He is not just a colleague, he is a friend. He is a trusted advisor. He's truly one of my most cherished colleagues. And he is such a valued thought partner to every single person on our cabinet team. I can't tell you how many people walk in and out of his office because they know Phil is always going to give it to you straight. We love the humor he's able to inject in, in sometimes pretty serious work. But he never takes himself seriously, but he always takes what you're saying seriously. And his fingerprints are literally all over this school district. He started as a special educator when he came to us, and when he was at Churchill, you may not know, he was also a football coach. Did you coach basketball too?
At Frost.
At Frost.
Wow.
And, he had an amazing start in his career as a co-teacher and as always an advocate for kids. And he started his administrative career with his feet running mid-year at Frost as an AP. And then he moved on to LCTC AP. And from there into federal programs. I mean, that's a leap, right? So as a high school teacher, as a middle school administrator, as a career center principal, career center AP, and coming over to federal programs. And I'll tell you what, he learned everything he was doing from top to bottom, side to side. I mean, no holds barred. And he is tremendously smart. We try not to tell him that too often, but he is extraordinarily smart, and he is able to take in a lot of information, and he's also able to turn that around, to analyze it, which you have to do in these roles. You have to be able to take that. You have to be able to take what people are sharing, and then his sage counsel is so valued. I don't know that he knows how greatly we all value that in him. And so it was not a surprise, I think, to anyone when I, asked for the board's approval and asked him to serve as our assistant superintendent. He was a natural in that position, and he was in that position after having been in HR and serving in operations, and jumped into a huge bond in 2021. And when I say literally his fingerprints are all over, he knows every nook and cranny of our school district and every element of operations, but he also knows finance and human resources and instruction and special education. And there's a reason why he serves now as our deputy superintendent. And I don't think any of us want to see him go, but boy, does he deserve it. So he deserves it. And I know Jennifer's excited about it and their time together. I hope they're, she is, why are you guys laughing about that? She really is, she's pretty excited about it. But I know that they have a tremendous adventure ahead, and boy, his career has been one, he'll say it's luck, it's not.
No, it's not luck.
It's everything he has inside of him. It's what his parents instilled in him. It's what he worked so hard to earn on his own. And everything that he has earned in every position is because of his tremendous hard work. He's the first one here, often the last one to leave. And he gives and gives and gives. And he deserves every minute that's ahead of him after June 30th to enjoy everything life has to offer. So I love you, Phil, and we'll miss you.
Appreciate that very, very much.
It's hard to follow all of my colleagues. I've been around here for a long time, and I have been said I'm an emotional person, and I know I am, but there are not very many things that will make me absolutely tear up. And one of them was the day that you walked into my meeting with Andrea and told me that you were going to retire. And that is not because, it's not only because I respect you so much as a colleague, which I absolutely do, but it is because you have also become my friend. And it's very hard to know you're not going to see my friend on a weekly basis, but it's nice to know that you just live down the road, and we still can. I respect immensely the amount of work that you've done in this school district, but it's more the amount of care that you've brought to this school district. When you are a person who has started off in special education and worked in Title I programming with some of our neediest students for whatever life has brought their way, and then you're able to pivot it into so many of the functional things of our school district. As it's been said, you know this district inside and out. Other people can come and do some of the tasks and some of the jobs that you've done, but it'll be a long, long time until anyone can do them to the degree of expertise that you will have brought to them. I will miss you dearly, and I'm glad that you're not too far down the road.
If I may, just want to say thank you. Those were all very, very kind words. I had actually started.
We read what you.
Yeah, exactly.
You told us to.
Yeah, I use chat for that.
Oh.
There are a lot of people that I wanted to thank. I actually was writing out just a list of names, and it's hard to just start naming people. I will say just a couple of things. Dave, your mother, literally called me in the summer and left on an answering machine. Hey, Phil, I'd met her, one of my very good friends who I met in Taylor had come here, was at Churchill. He started saying something, so you got to come here, whatever. And she and Linda Hubert basically pulled me in, interviewed, took care of me, and she was magnificent. And I had so many people around that were phenomenal. I mean, the principal was Rod Hosman. He's like the godfather of principals. Dan Willenberg, Steve Archibald, Joe Anderson. I mean, the people that were surrounded, it's all about the team and the other people that are around you. I mean, I stepped in, and John Filiatro was varsity football coach at Churchill, and he's like, I never coached it before, and he said, all you gotta do, it's an extension of the classroom. Be good to the kids, you teach them what you're supposed to do, and it's gonna be fine. And he was absolutely right. And just from on and on and on, people who just took, helped, just always helped. And I learned from them, people like, Chris Berry, when I moved there, Janet Haas. I fell in love with CTE because she loved it and showed me what it was all about. It was fantastic. Just place after place after place. So I just want to thank all those people, everybody in the operations department. You asked me to go to that department, and I'm like, they're going to kill me. Are you kidding me? and they just, Harry and Wayne Roberts before Carl, and then Carl and Vicky and everybody, and Pat. Tim was phenomenal. Everybody was just so supportive, and it just made it easy. So there's just, this place I owe, like, everything to. I met my wife here, right? I mean, like, she's smart, beautiful, independent, across the hall, and I'm like, okay. You know, all that. My father was so proud when I told him, my mother was still alive, and I told both of them that I was deputy superintendent, and I was in HR, just kind of explained it, and he just looked at me and said, do you have any business cards? I would really like to have one of those. And it was just the sweetest thing in the world, because I got my work ethic from them as well. Like, it was, you go to work and do something, that's why they're paying you. Otherwise, what are you doing? So just, I apologize, there's other people on the list, everybody in HR, Laura knew, all my admin assistants, you know, Laura knew was the original. Finishing with her seems to make sense. Karen Oakes is my big sister. She was the principal secretary at Churchill when I walked in there. All these people, Angie is just the best. Everybody in the HR department is just sunshine on a stick. I mean, everybody is such hardworking people, and everybody, the people sitting next to me now in the past years, amazing. Like, it's cover up a lot of blemishes when you have all the makeup helping me out, you know. So, and finally, and I can't not say thank you to you, Andrea, and this board, who has just supported me, and previous board members. This has been an amazing, just stable. I've said it to you multiple times. It's like when I got onto cabinet, timing's everything. Like, I'm just a dumb luck person, because the time that I landed on there was the launching of a golden age, and it really has been an era that's been amazing. And I appreciate everything that you've done, you know, for me, with me, and given me opportunities when I never thought they were there. So sometimes you just gotta say yes and go do something and not be scared. So thank you to everybody, and I apologize, I missed probably 5 million people and all the rest, but I want to thank everybody, all of you guys. You're all the best. It's a great, fun group, and you might as well just go out on top, so I am. So.
And now meeting's over. No, I'm just
Yes, no, not yet.
Do we have more business?
Yeah. We do have a bit. At this time, we do have a motion that we do have to vote on. As we've said many times in the past, I wish we could just vote no and have it not happen, but that doesn't work that way. We are at item 6F, retirements. We have a motion by Mr. Johnson, supported by Mrs. Bradford. And Mrs. Acosta, would you please take the roll?
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford,
Yes.
Mrs. Frank,
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis,
Yes.
Mr. McFarland,
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes, President Burton.
Yes, and that motion passes. The next item on our agenda, let me see here, is item 6G, discontinuance of teaching contracts. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton,
Mrs. Jarvis.
move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District accept the recommendation of the superintendent that the individual teaching contracts for the teachers listed are not renewed at the end of the 2025-26 school year, and those teachers will be laid off for the 2026-2027 school year. It is further resolved that the records show that the reason for this action is a result of declining enrollment. Be it further resolved that the Board of Education directs the Secretary of the Board to send a letter to the individuals listed, officially notifying said teacher that their teaching contract will not be renewed at the end of the 2025-26 school year, and that they will be laid off as teachers in the Livonia Public Schools School District.
Second.
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Jarvis, supported by Mrs. Frank, for discontinuance of teaching contracts. We will be hearing from Mr. Francis, I believe, on this item.
Yes, just very, very briefly, this is, the board oftentimes authorizes items so that for the superintendent or her designee to be able to do certain things. This would allow us to be able to recall anyone that is on layoff.
Discontinuance.
I'm sorry, discontinue, yes. The teaching contract, and we have a different one, I'm mixing it up, so.
Nope.
Yep,
That's
yep,
in 10 seconds, we'll do that.
yep.
May I briefly speak?
Yes,
Yeah.
Mrs. Okus?
So
Apologies.
we know it is always extraordinarily difficult when folks receive a layoff notice. We are grateful that there are only 2 names on this list. We always hope that it's 0. And specifically in the area of the languages, the world languages, it is a challenge with declining enrollment and with students having other options to fulfill those credits. So we are, it is 1.0 of a Spanish teacher. We do have another teacher that is being reduced in tense as well. And if we are able to bring them back, we will certainly want to look to do that as soon as possible. And I know that's the next item. And then one of our ECP teachers at the LECC. So again, we know that for these individuals that are impacted, it's certainly life-altering, but we are pleased with, in our efforts to continue to keep a very strong and stable budget and to be where we are as in a strong fiduciary position. We're pleased to be bringing such a low number, but we know for these individuals, it's very impactful.
Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions from board members? We have a motion for discontinuance of teaching contracts, a motion by Mrs. Jarvis, supported by Mrs. Frank. And Mrs. Acosta, would you take the roll, please?
Mrs. Jarvis?
Yes.
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Mr. McFarland?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton?
Yes, and that motion passes. Item 6H is the authorization to recall teachers. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton,
Mr. McFarland.
move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District accept the recommendation of the superintendent and authorize the superintendent or her designee to begin, as soon as circumstances permit, the recall procedure for teachers who are on layoff. Said authorization not to exceed the 2026 through 27 staffing guidelines.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. McFarland, supported by Mrs. Jarvis. And, let's see here, we will be hearing from Mr. Francis. Nope, Mr. Griesiak.
This authorization, if approved, will would allow administration to recall those teachers in a timely manner.
Thank you, Mr. Griesiak. Are there any other comments or questions from board or superintendent on this item? All righty. We have the motion for authorization to recall teachers, the motion by Mr. McFarland, supported by Mrs. Jarvis. And Mrs. Acosta, would you take the roll?
Mr. McFarland?
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis?
Yes.
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton?
Yes, and that motion passes. Item 6I is the authorization to accept resignations. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton?
Mrs. Acosta.
Move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District authorize the superintendent or director of human resources to accept employee resignations on its behalf for the 2026-27 school year.
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Acosta, supported by Mrs. Bradford. And we'll be hearing from Mr. Francis.
Thank you very much. For the past approximately 40 years, the Board of Education has annually approved a recommendation enabling the superintendent or the designee to accept employee resignations and then to report such resignations at a subsequent board meeting. So it's the opinion of the administration that the process has worked well, and we would offer the same rationale for extending the authorization for an additional year. In order to expedite staffing and related personnel matters, it's frequently desirable to act on employee resignations between regularly scheduled board meetings. So during the regular board meetings, all resignations accepted on behalf of the board will be included in the meeting materials.
Thank you. Are there comments or questions on this item? No? Alrighty. We have a motion for authorization to accept resignations, and the motion is by Mrs. Acosta, supported by Mrs. Bradford. Mrs. Acosta, would you please take the roll?
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McFarland?
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton?
Yes, and that motion passes. I'd like to ask for a point of privilege with the Board of Education members to add an update on the superintendent search at this time, which was just inadvertently left off of this list on our agenda this evening. This is information that has already been discussed at our study session and our committee of the whole, and has already been sent out to our staff and our LPS parents and community. But I do want to read this information so everyone has the same information at the same time. And I'm trying to get this information out to everyone as far and wide as possible, because at some points we are looking for your input also, which is very important to us. As you know, and it is with great sadness that I have to even announce this again, but as you know, Superintendent Andrea Oquist has announced her retirement effective December 31st, 2026. Her performance and commitment in this role over the past 11 years have been nothing short of exemplary. She is endeared by LPS students, staff, the Board of Education, and the community as a whole. Her years of outstanding experience, robust skill set, and a deep care for all of those in Livonia Public Schools will be greatly missed. The Board of Education is responsible for hiring the new superintendent. We fully understand that this task is likely the most important that we are charged with conducting during our board service, and we take it very seriously. We would like input from you, our LPS community, on the qualities that you would like to see in our next superintendent. There will be times throughout the process that you and other stakeholders will have the opportunity to share your thoughts, and we encourage you to do so. Ultimately, it will be up to the 7 members of the Board of Education to conduct this process and to make the selection. The Board of Education has hired Michigan Leadership Institute, otherwise known as MLI, to assist in the hiring process of the new superintendent. MLI specializes in training potential superintendents and assisting districts with superintendent searches. They have worked extensively with school districts throughout Michigan, and Livonia Public Schools has used them successfully in the past. They will be guiding the Board of Education throughout this process. At this time, the Board of Education has determined that this will be an internal search. We believe that we have a strong team of leaders in Livonia Public Schools who understand our culture and many facets of our large district and who live out our vision and mission. If for some reason an internal candidate is not selected by the board, we will expand our search to consider external candidates. The board has established the following timeline. Beginning today, May 26th through June 5th, stakeholder surveys are available to staff, students, parents, and community members to gather input for the creation of the candidate profile. MLI has worked with Stacy Jenkins, our Administrator of Communications, to complete this important task. When you do see this come across your email, or if you seek it out on our website, we do encourage you to please take this brief survey. It is very important to the Board of Education. On Tuesday, that survey, by the way, is up as again through June 5th. On Tuesday, June 2nd is another date to note. A series of in-person meetings will be held in the school board office to engage various stakeholders and obtain their feedback in this search process. Our representatives from MLI will be conducting the meetings. School board members will intentionally be absent to ensure that everyone feels comfortable speaking freely, but will receive detailed information back from MLI. There are time slots available for anyone who wishes to participate on June 2nd, and we encourage you to go to our website for the link on what times during that date would suit you and your stakeholder group. On Monday, June 22nd, the Board of Education will meet with MLI to finalize the job description for the position of superintendent. On June 24th through July 8th, the superintendent position will be posted internally. Applications will be accepted until 4 p.m. on Wednesday, July 8th. Monday, July 20th the first round of interviews will be conducted by the Board of Education in the board office. Interviews will be open to the public in accordance with law. Wednesday, July 22nd, the Board of Education will meet to select finalists for the position. Monday, July 27th, the second round of interviews will be conducted in the Board of Education, by the Board of Education in the board office. Interviews will be open to the public in accordance with law. Thursday, July 30th, the Board of Education will select the incoming superintendent. November 1st through December 31st, the incoming superintendent will shadow Superintendent Andrea Oquist in order to provide a thoughtful and thorough transition in district leadership. January 1st, 2027, the incoming superintendent will take over as superintendent of Livonia Public Schools. Throughout her illustrious career in Livonia Public Schools, Andrea Oquist has served every role that she's held with deep dedication, distinction, and aplomb. As saddened as we sincerely are to see her retire, we are equally excited that she's heading into this exciting new chapter with many happy years ahead. We want to thank Andrea for developing such a deep bench of talented, strong leaders at Livonia Public Schools. We are confident that on January 1st, we will be welcoming the next very capable individual into the role of Superintendent of Livonia Public Schools. Respectfully, your Board of Education, Colleen Burton, Dave McFarland, Crystal Frank, Madeline Acosta, Mark Johnson, Karen Bradford, and Liz Jarvis. That's information that I always hope that I will never have to share with everybody, because hiring a new superintendent is not anything that anyone ever looks forward to. I was around when Randy Leopa, who had guided us for so many years, so incredibly excellently, when he moved on to be the superintendent of Wayne Risa, and I was saddened at that time and terrified, because I didn't figure out how in the world we were ever going to have another superintendent who was going to be as good as he was. And this time around, I am saddened, but I'm not terrified, because I learned that, yes, we have a deep bench of very capable leaders. And our next very capable leader was Mrs. Andrea Oquist, who I couldn't even imagine not serving with at this time. I'm equally confident, even though I'm sad that we will not be working together on such a regular basis. I'm equally confident that we will have another phenomenal superintendent who will come in and lead Livonia Public Schools in our next, hopefully, decade. We've been blessed in this district with long-serving superintendents, so it's very nice, and it's something we definitely don't take for granted. Are there any comments or anything to add from other board members this time? Mrs. Frank.
Tonight, we're not talking about retirements because it's not until December 31st. So we're not going to discuss that. But I'm just thankful for the board, the seriousness at which we are taking this and looking onto it. But I do think that it is appropriate to thank Andrea for her leadership and for all that she's done, leading us to this point and walking with us through these next steps.
Absolutely. Mrs. Jarvis.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify that for those who are going to attend in person for the informational sessions and the opportunity to share their opinions, there are different time slots for different capacities, staff, families, community members.
Yes.
Is it okay if you attend one that is not necessarily the one that was targeted for your group, if that's the only slot that you can make?
If that is the case, I ask that you contact me first so I can let MLI know, because some of the information is targeted for certain groups. So if you cannot make your designated time slot, different stakeholders have different groups. Please contact me first. Some will be more fitting and more appropriate to fit into than others may be. So if my email address is on the district website. If you go to livoniapublicschools.org, any of our email addresses are on that. But if you go to the board tab, go to About the Board, and you can click on our email addresses. Please do contact either myself or Mr. McFarland as the Director of Personnel, or rather,
Human Resources.
thank you, Human Resources. Yes. anyway, contact one of the two of us, and we will make certain that, that you can get slotted into it in a more appropriate time slot, because some will work and some will not work as well. So, any other, Mr. McFarland?
Yeah, I just wanted to implore to our stakeholders, participate in this. We're offering it, we want the input. All too often, I think people don't feel like they're part of the process in their communities in important decisions like this. I think with MLI's guidance, we're doing a great job in offering to get that input. So take advantage of it. It doesn't take long to either fill it out online or come into one of the segments. You know, please participate. We're asking for it, so.
Absolutely. Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, President Burton. I agree with Mr. McFarland. But I also go back, sometimes, you know, you've done it, I've done it, Karen's done it when we were board president, that when we get to audience communication, we say these are our 3 roles. And sometimes I think people just think that's lip service along the way. But this is one of the most important decisions that we can make. We do need the input from our community in order for us to know what they're looking for in a superintendent. So when we say those 3 things, that it's policy, the superintendent, and fiscal responsibility, this is the epitome of what our job is. And it's critical because whoever we do hire, we hope that they will stay for a long time. And I throw a challenge out that they be here for more than 11 years. Don't scare people. But to me, it is the essence of what we do and why we take all the classes that we do, to become good board members and understand the processes that we have to go through. And this is one. And some of us have been through it before, and it can be a painful process. But it's also a very rewarding process when we've picked the right superintendent to lead this district. So thank you for reading that, Mrs. Burton. I appreciate that.
Any other comments? All righty, moving forward. We are on to item 7B, approval of the Wayne Risa budget for 2026, 2027. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton.
Mrs. Frank?
Move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District adopts the attached resolution in support of the Wayne County Regional and Educational Service Agency, RESA, general funding operating budget for the 2026-2027 school year.
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Frank, supported by Mrs. Jarvis. And we'll hear from Mrs. Smith on this item.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the board for the opportunity to go over this with you at our study session and committee of the whole meeting. As you'll recall, we did have some great discussion at the committee of the whole, and we had some questions, and we passed those on to Wayne Risa. They did get back to us, and we have shared that with the board. One of the big focuses was about the fund balance and where their fund balance percentage was. And Mr. McMeekin from RESA was able to share some insight on why they maintain a higher fund balance, part of which is capital improvements, that they don't have the same funding mechanisms that the local school districts do to raise money for projects like that. So they will grow their fund balance a bit so that they can tackle those projects. So I appreciate their responsiveness to our questions. I know that they always are open to hearing our feedback. We, of course, got other feedback from the board that we've shared and will continue to advocate on behalf of the board with RESA. So for that reason, I feel comfortable recommending to the board that we approve the budget as presented by Wayne Risa.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, President Burton. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. That was pretty comprehensive information that RESA provided. It certainly helped us understand why they are a little bit different than the local school districts. So we appreciate that information. Thank you.
Other board members, comments or questions, or the superintendent? No? Likewise, I appreciate the responsiveness of Wayne Risa and the fact that you presented our serious concerns to them. I think they know that we're a district that really does look at their budget. Really do pay attention. But thank you for getting the answers to our very important questions so we can feel comfortable going ahead to vote on this item. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, we have a motion for approval of the Wayne Risa budget for 2026-2027. Motion by Mrs. Frank, supported by Mrs. Jarvis. And Mrs. Acosta, would you take the roll?
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis?
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McFarland?
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton?
Yes, and that motion passes. The next item on our agenda is 7C, approval of appointment of auditor. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton,
Mrs. Bradford.
move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District appoints the firm of Plant Moran to audit and prepare the financial statements for Livonia Public Schools for the 2025-2026 school year.
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Bradford, supported by Mr. Johnson. And we'll hear from Mrs. Smith.
Wonderful, thank you. And again, thank you for the opportunity to talk about this, both at our study session and the committee of the whole meeting. I especially appreciate the board's eagerness to really understand the audit process, understand how it's going, be supportive in discussions about it. I know we had some conversations about how it went last year and kind of our game plan for this coming year. I had a great conversation with our partner at Plant Moran, Miss Lisa Vargo, and I think we have come up with a really good plan for this coming year. So I can feel very comfortable recommending to the board that we go with Plant Moran for our audit for the 25-26 fiscal year end. I do want to read something because I don't want to miss any of the things. I hope that our community finds great assurance knowing that we do go through an external audit every year. It's wonderful to know that we have people coming in and digging through all the transactions, making sure that we're compliant with board policy, with grant requirements, with federal requirements that are out there. So it's such an important reassurance. I'm very proud that every year we come back with an unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance for our community that our funds are being cared for properly. So with that, I'll read just a real quick thing to make sure that our community knows exactly what happens when they come in. So during the audit process, independent auditors perform a variety of procedures to evaluate the district's financial operations and reporting practices. Auditors review financial records, test transactions, examine supporting documentation, and assess the effectiveness of internal controls related to areas such as payroll, purchasing, cash handling, and federal grant compliance. We take it with such great importance that we've been entrusted with taxpayer dollars, and we want to ensure that they are being handled appropriately, and I can say confidently that they are, and it's wonderful to have our auditors come in and test that and make sure that that is the fact, and they continue to do that every year for us. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Bradford.
Mrs. Smith, I just want to thank you for the information that you sent to the board regarding the other firms and just taking a good look at our processes and do we want to make a switch, and all the information that you gave us to read through was very helpful. So I do want to thank you for that. I think it's important for us to look and just make sure that we are confident in the company that we choose for our audit. This is another one of our important responsibilities that our board is entrusted with. And I just appreciate us, it gives us time to reflect and look at all the information. It was a lot of information, but I thought it was really important, and I appreciate you putting that all together for us, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other board members, any comments or questions? Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, President Burton. It's obvious to me, Mrs. Smith, reading the information that you sent, Plant Moran's information, that they were very responsive to some of the questions that we had. When you look at Lisa's and then some of the other ones underneath, very clear that they were responding to some of the questions that we had had. So I appreciate them doing that and for you to pass out information along to us.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? All right, seeing none, we have a motion for the approval of appointment of auditor, motion by Mrs. Bradford, supported by Mr. Johnson. And Mrs. Acosta, would you take the roll?
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis?
Yes.
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Mr. McFarland?
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton?
Yes, and that motion passes. The next item on our agenda is item 8, instruction matters, and 8A is the approval of purchase of 7th grade social studies textbooks. We're going to get into a section here where we're approving several large dollar item motions, and again, just as a reminder, we have discussed these at length at least 2 prior meetings, so we may not have as many questions and answers. If you're looking for questions, answers, details, please do go back and listen to the committee of the whole meeting from 2 weeks ago, and you'll have a lot of discussion to listen to if you'd like to there. So item 8A is the approval of purchase of 7th grade social studies textbooks. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton,
Mr. Johnson.
move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District approves the purchase of National Geographic World History, Great Civilizations, Ancient through Early Modern Times, 2025 for 7th grade social studies from Cengage Learning for $135,117.40. This includes student print materials and digital access for 6 years. Teacher guides, placards, and professional development will be provided at no cost.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Johnson, supported by Mrs. Bradford, and we will hear from Mrs. O'Brien.
Thank you, President Burton. This purchase is actually one of the round 2 textbook purchases that we've made since the Wayne County Enhancement Millage. So in 2017, we updated middle school social studies. National Geographic was the choice we chose for 7th and 8th grade. Mrs. Rousseau has worked with a committee of teachers for this past year, looking at 5 different textbooks and piloting, and they have chosen to go with the most updated version of Nat Geographic for 7th grade. They've piloted in their classrooms, surveyed students, and gathered their feedback, and feel like this textbook has provided the kind of rigor that we're looking for in world history, and also an engaging platform. If you remember back when we first started getting platforms, a lot of them were just a PDF of a hardcover textbook, so students could read the pages. Since then, and that was one of our first ones, was this particular book. Since then, of course, there's engaging videos, there's ways for students to have it read to them, define vocabulary. There's many interactive pieces for a student to engage with that digital platform. So this purchase is just for 7th grade, 6 years of digital access, and they are providing the teacher materials and the professional development at no cost. It will come out of the secondary textbook budget, which has been enhanced by the Wayne County Enhancement Millage.
Excellent. Comments or questions from board members or the superintendent? Nope. Again, thanks to our community for supporting the Wayne County Enhancement Millage. It makes an enormous difference. We've been able to update curriculum much quicker because we've been able to use those dollars toward that. So, any other comments or questions? Seeing none, we have a motion for approval of purchase of 7th grade social studies textbooks. A motion by Mr. Johnson, supported by Mrs. Bradford. And Mrs. Acosta, would you please take the roll?
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis?
Yes.
Mr. McFarland?
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton?
Yes, and that motion passes. The next item on our agenda is 8B, approval of purchase of 8th grade social studies textbooks. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton,
Mrs. Jarvis.
move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District approve the purchase of History Alive, U.S. History Through Industrialization, 3rd edition, 2025, from TCI, Teachers Curriculum Institute, Palo Alto, California, for $93,890 for 8th grade social studies. This includes student print materials and digital access for 6 years. Teacher guides, placards, and professional development will be provided at no cost.
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Jarvis, supported by Mr. Johnson. We'll hear from Mrs. O'Brien.
Thank you. Again, Mrs. Rousseau, our social studies coordinator, worked with teachers throughout the year. She actually worked with the 7th and 8th grade teachers together. They looked at 5 U.S. history textbooks that are out and highly rated. And we used TCI books both at the 5, 6 and at the high school. And so this was the #1 choice for U.S. history. A comment on the 7th grade was that their world history wasn't up to par, and that's why they liked the National Geographic better for the 7th grade. But at 8th grade, they felt their world history was very strong. They piloted the materials and surveyed students about how they felt about their experience in using the new materials. This textbook would provide both print and digital for 6 years. It will come out of the secondary textbook budget, which has been supported by Wayne County Enhancement Millage.
Comments or questions from superintendent or board members? Nope. Alrighty, seeing none, we have a motion for approval of purchase of 8th grade social studies textbooks. Motion by Mrs. Jarvis, supported by Mr. Johnson. Mrs. Acosta, would you take the roll?
Mrs. Jarvis.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mrs. Frank.
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford.
Yes.
Mr. McFarland.
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton.
Yes, and that motion passes. The next item on our agenda is 8C, approval of 3M grant purchase of literacy materials. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton.
Yes, Mr. McFarland.
Move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District approve the recommendation to purchase books and digital access to Writable from Houghton Mifflin Hardcourt, Chicago, Illinois, for $129,616.38. The books are to be utilized for Tier 1 modules and small group instruction for Webster ACAT students and teachers, and access to the Writable platform for all 3rd and 4th grades would be used as part of our integrated modules.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. McFarland, supported by Mrs. Bradford. We'll hear from Mrs. O'Brien.
Thank you again. As you know, last year we applied for a grant from the state of Michigan, and we were awarded over $1 million to support literacy in grades kindergarten through 5th grade. Last year we purchased small group instruction books for all of our classrooms and purchased our 5th grade HMH student journals and access to the digital platform. We still had money in the grant, and when I brought those books to you earlier in the year, we didn't want to feel like we had to spend the whole grant just to spend the money. But as Mrs. Corey and our literacy coaches have worked with Webster to elevate our modules that we utilize at our schools, they were looking at some additional reading material, and so through the platform and through HMH, the company, we selected and chose new books for students and for the teachers to use as a part of their curriculum. Also through this process, Writable has been part of the HMH platform that we utilize at 5th grade and 6th grade. And Mrs. Corey, who has written and worked with teachers, our K4 integrated modules, felt like Writable would be, there's lessons in there that would be very strong to integrate into our modules and help improve our writing instruction. And so utilizing the grant allows us to use that platform at 3rd and 4th grades free under this particular grant. So this grant funds ends September 30th of this year, and this purchase allows our students to have access to that Writable platform, along with our 5th and 6th graders who use the HMH textbook.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Mr. McFarland?
Yeah, Mrs. O'Brien, I just want to thank you and your team for the grant work, always looking for it. I know that's sometimes an arduous process to get through, so not unseen and always looking for maybe not what's next, but what makes most sense moving forward with curriculum. So thank you and your team for all the hard work.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Alrighty, seeing none, we have a motion for the approval of a 3M grant purchase of literacy materials. Motion by Mr. McFarland, supported by Mrs. Bradford. And Mrs. Acosta, would you take the roll?
Mr. McFarland?
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis?
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton?
Yes, and that motion carries. The next item on our agenda is item 9, hearing from board members, and 9A is second reading board policy ICC, research and pilot studies. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton?
Mrs. Acosta.
Move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District accept the recommendation of the Board Policy Committee and adopt board policy language per the attached document for Board Policy ICC, research and pilot studies.
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Acosta, supported by, motion by Mrs. Acosta, supported by Mrs. Frank. And we'll hear from Mrs. O'Brien.
Thank you again. This policy followed our review process, so we talked about it at study session, at a committee of the whole, and its first reading was last month at our regular board meeting. We read it into the record, and there have been no changes since then.
Thank you. Any comments or questions on this item? Mrs. Frank, Mrs. Jarvis, sorry.
Thank you. I have a couple suggestions for clarification. In the first paragraph, it doesn't read trippingly on the tongue. And I suggest that when listing the clauses of the things which are identified in this particular policy, that we separate those clauses by semicolons to make them easier to understand. That would mean to change in the first paragraph in the third line, after the words awareness of changing needs, change the comma to a semicolon. The next clause for time and an opportunity to appraise the existing program, change that comma to a semicolon. For planning needed changes, change that comma to a semicolon. And for offering, the rest of the sentence goes on. Also, in the final paragraph, we have the words for approval twice. I recommend deleting the first occurrence where it says proposals will be developed and submitted. Delete approval by and replace it with the word to, so that it would read proposals will be developed and submitted to the superintendent or their designee for approval prior to implementation.
Mrs. Jarvis, can you read that last, how you want that last one to read again? I want to make sure that we are not losing approval of the superintendent.
For studies which significantly diverge from or exceed curricular and instructional limits, proposals will be developed and submitted to the superintendent or their designee for approval prior to implementation.
I can live with that.
Yep, that sounds good.
Other board members? Mr. Johnson?
That works for me. I think it makes it a little smoother.
Okay. Other board members? Anyone opposed? I'm seeing nods, which is fine, but is anybody opposed to these changes?
No.
Okay. Mrs. O'Brien, can you make those changes and then into the policy, and we'll vote on those, on the policy as proposed to be changed?
Yes. I will make these changes, and so then tonight's vote would be based on
Yes.
changing those 3 commas to semicolons.
Yep.
And changing that last sentence as read by Mrs. Jarvis.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Mrs. Oquist and Mrs. Gunter, are we okay with voting on it in that way?
Should it be read into the record in the new verbiage?
Probably.
Yeah. So that
Probably.
So you have that on the table to vote on.
Yep. Mrs. Jarvis, since you're proposing it, can you read it into the record as you want it, as you're suggesting that it be written?
The entire policy?
Yep, because you've got changes in the beginning and the end.
Given that the first changes are grammatical, I'm not going to say the word semicolon.
Actually, I think you
Would you
should, because
prefer?
that's what the
Yes.
change is.
All right, then
Yes.
I will. Board Policy ICC, Instructional Program Research and Pilot Studies, May 26, 2026. The Board of Education recognizes that in order for the educational program to maintain necessary relevance to the rapidly changing society which it serves, provision must be made for the stimulation and development of awareness of changing needs, semicolon, for time and opportunity to appraise the existing program, semicolon, for planning needed changes, semicolon, and for offering and/or requiring continuing in-service education of key personnel in the educational process. The Board of Education encourages the professional staff to participate in research and pilot studies that carefully assess the program to identify improved instructional opportunities for students. Such improvements should relate to the changes in their interest and needs as reflected in college and career readiness. For studies which significantly diverge from or exceed curricular and instructional limits, proposals will be developed and submitted to the superintendent or their designee for approval prior to implementation.
Thank you. Excuse me. Any other comments or questions on that version of this that we'll vote on right now?
No.
All right. Seeing none, we have a motion for a second reading of Board Policy ICC, Research and Pilot Studies. Motion by Mrs. Acosta, supported by Mrs. Frank. And Mrs. Acosta, would you please take the roll?
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McFarland?
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton?
Yes, and that motion passes. The next item on our agenda is 9B, second reading of Board Policy IDAA, Career Technical Education and Enrollment. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton,
Mrs. Frank.
move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District accept the recommendation of the Board Policy Committee and adopt board policy language per the attached document for Board Policy IDAA, Career Technical Education and Enrollment.
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Frank, supported by Mrs. Bradford. We'll hear from Mrs. O'Brien.
Thank you again. This board policy, it went through our policy committee. We talked about it at study session committee of the whole. It was read into the record at last month's April board meeting, and there have been no changes since then. It updates our policy for career technical education so that it matches what we do today. And so we spent time talking about that and adding in part of their standards and their core performance areas the last time that we updated this.
Okay. Mrs. Oquist.
I believe we discussed this at committee of the whole, but the apostrophe after the S in students in the first line does not need to be there.
Correct.
It's lined out. So if you see
red.
that it was supposed to be lined out, it was supposed to be changed
It was-
today.
Right.
So the strike through removed?
The strike, right,
That's,
we-
yeah, I highlighted that for you. So it's not,
Gotcha.
it wasn't meant, was meant to be struck out.
Right.
President Burton asked us to change that. I thought it got changed.
Right. What showed up earlier on our document today, we had the strike through and the apostrophe, both.
Correct.
So when we asked to remove it because we had already talked about removing it, the
Correct.
strike through got removed, but not the apostrophe.
Okay.
So we
So
can
Mrs. Ginger,
remove
can you
both.
change that
Yes.
before we upload
Yep.
it? Okay, thank you.
On my version, it showed both of them as removed, so I'll take care of that.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Nope. All righty. We have a motion for second reading of Board Policy IDAA, Career Technical Education and Enrollment. Motion by Mrs. Frank, supported by Mrs. Bradford. Mrs. Acosta, will you take the roll?
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
Mr. McFarland?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis?
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton?
Yes, and that motion passes. The next item is 9C, second reading of Board Policy IDG, Adult Education. Mrs. O'Brien?
No.
No, I'm sorry. May I have a motion, please?
President Burton.
Mrs. Bradford?
Okay, well, I hope we don't have a whole lot to talk about this one, but okay.
Yeah.
All right. Move that the Board of Education of the Livonia Public Schools School District accept the recommendation of the Board Policy Committee and adopt board policy language per the attached document for Board Policy IDG, Adult Education.
Support?
We have a motion by Mrs. Bradford, supported by Mrs. Frank. Now, Mrs. O'Brien.
Same as the two previous board policies, it went through the steps of board discussion at a study session, a committee of the whole, and it was read into the record last month and stands as agreed upon last month. It is a policy that just states the fact that we may offer classes to support a student's completion of high school diploma, high school equivalency prep for GED, and courses to support the acquiring of English language based on our budget.
Thank you. Any questions on this item? All right, seeing none, we have a motion by Mrs. Bradford, supported by Mrs. Frank, for the second reading of Board Policy IDG, Adult Education. Mrs. Acosta, would you take the roll?
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Mrs. Jarvis?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McFarland?
Yes.
Mrs. Acosta says yes. President Burton?
Yes, and that motion passes. The next item on our agenda is item 9D, first reading of Board Policy CGC, Individual Employment Contracts. And we will be hearing from Mrs. Smith.
Thank you, and thank you to the board for the opportunity to review this proposed new board policy at our study session and committee of the whole. I will go ahead and read it into the record. Proposed board policy would be CGC. It would fall under the General School Administration section, and it would be titled Individual Employment Contracts. The Board of Education recognizes the need to establish clear and consistent employment terms for employees who are not covered by a collective bargaining agreement. The board hereby authorizes the superintendent or his/her designee to develop, negotiate, and execute individual employment contracts for non-affiliated employees on behalf of the district. In exercising this authority, the superintendent shall ensure that all such contracts, A, are consistent with established district compensation practices, benefit structures, and budgetary limitations, B, comply with all applicable federal and state laws, regulations, and board policies. C, include appropriate provisions regarding duties, compensation, work year, evaluation, and separation of employment. So this is the current practice of the district, and this new board policy would formally adopt that and recognize that practice.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions on this policy? Nope. Alrighty, seeing none, Mrs. Acosta, would you please put this on the agenda for our next voting meeting, which is in June? All right, that brings us to hearing from board members at the end of a lengthy agenda. Are there any board members that have anything that they would like to share this evening? Mrs. Jarvis?
Thank you. This is our last regular meeting prior to the end of the school year, and I'd like to wish all of our families a very happy and safe summer, especially our graduating seniors. We're so proud of you. We look forward to meeting up with you at the ceremonies, and we ask you please to be safe and be very mindful of how you celebrate and err on the side of caution. We love you all, and we want you to be successful, and please be safe.
Thank you. Mrs. Acosta?
I'm gonna try to get through this.
Probably won't, that's okay. Yeah.
So it is graduation season, and as a parent, an LPS parent, I get to see my son cross the stage, and it will be the closing of my time as an LPS parent for this district. And I just want to thank everyone that has been a part of our family, this whole education process, this whole experience has been remarkable because of all the people that have crossed our paths along the way. So just from the Acosta family, thank you so much for everything you've given to our family.
Thank you. Any other board members who have anything that they would like to share this evening?
And thank you on behalf of the Frank family too.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead. No. Congratulations specifically to the Frank and Acosta families who both have graduating sons this year. So that's very exciting. So we celebrate with you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from board members at this time? To those of you who have hung in there with us, thank you. We are now at the end of our agenda. We are adjourned. Have a nice evening. Good night.